You know it's getting serious when there's a flower pot next to the Delosaurus.
The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
So, ever since my dad retired, he's basically turned into the Green Acres guy. He's all going on about in emails to the family and whatnot about all the stuff he's doing in the yard and stuff. I did this in the yard, I did that in the yard. The yard's looking greater than it has in a long time. And he's even going so far as to refer to the various parts of the yard around the house that I grew up in as the North 40, the South 40, the East 40, the West 40. Like it's some kind of farm or something. But I think you folks can probably guess what's going on by now. Yeah, the family work ethic is a hard habit to kick. So, obviously, there's an element of boredom somewhere in retirement here. I don't think I'll ever be able to get him to admit that, but the concept of retirement to me does sound kind of boring. So yeah, if you're thinking, oh, it sounds like he has too much free time on his hands, he probably does. And so, as he's kind of become this big green thumb, horticulture, whatever you want to call it, guy who's always out doing stuff in the yard and stuff like that, I was chuckling about it for a while until I tried it myself. And actually, there is something to be said for spending some time doing some decent amount of work to have a decent looking yard. Of course, I'm not going to go as crazy as he has and trying to make it look like a golf course or anything. But as a result of that, I actually have a couple of seeds left over from trying to grow some flowers in this part of the yard that's elevated that kind of looks like the perfect place for a garden. And I'm sure previous tenants probably have tried to grow stuff there, but I just want some scenic, hardy perennials to pretty things up instead of just having grass grow really tall there for the greenery and whatnot. So because I had the extra seeds, I decided to go all in on the green tech side of this and pick up a plant light and a desk lamp. And also, because the down fan is out of service for the season, we still have this smart plug that was powering the voice-controlled down fan and whatnot. So, can I put this back on the network, repurpose this as the plant light, and maybe grow something in this flower pot, which isn't just a flower pot, it's one of those nice little plant spas and stuff where you just put the water in there and the soil just sops it up and you just keep dumping water in this and stuff like that. And wow, I am definitely getting old if I suddenly want to start caring for house plants or something. But hey, the landlord doesn't allow pets here, so this is the next best thing if I can get something to sprout. And we're nerding it up, of course, because LED plant light and smart plug. Let's see what we can do with this here. And the Delosaurus can't stick around here anyways. I want to put the Delosaurus back into my regular setup over at the main desk for reasons that we can talk about some other time. But if there's a computer over here, it can probably be something like Tuxedo or the Silver Bullet or something. But the Delosaurus, I've got plans for it that don't involve keeping it here. Oh, hi, old clunky. Yeah, it's mid-May and I'm still running the heat. It's 39 out. We actually had some snow in Massachusetts. So, anytime now, summer. Is that why my grass isn't growing very well? So, nerdy stuff first, of course, as old clunky keeps tapping away over in the background. The desk lamp, it's a desk lamp. Yeah. And this bulb is actually a plant light, so it gives off purple light. Because what plants use for their photosynthesis is red light and blue light, so they don't need the full spectrum. The fun part about this is that this can give off the equivalent of a 60-watt bulb with only 9 watts, as a result of not needing the entire spectrum. So the LEDs in here can be all red and blue and stuff. And again, with Walmart and the whole great value LED bulbs, they've just done so well in aggressively pricing these so that you can just upgrade the lighting in your housing to solid state and then just be done with it. So, good stuff. Very good stuff indeed. And of course we have the Mercury Innovations Smart Switch, which I was using to voice control the down fan last winter. I have since changed programs that run these things, so I'll have to see if I can get this hooked up to the non-Genie program and see if I can get that to switch on and off. Because I can also, put it into the routines and stuff to turn the plant light on and off, and also set a timer so that you have 16 hours on, 8 hours off, which I think I'm going to coordinate with when I'm not at work. Or actually shut it off when I go to work and then turn it back on, when it's been 8 hours and stuff like that. So, let's get this hooked up. This is a plant bulb, my first ever of this kind. Okay, the plant light is in. Maiden voyage time. Purple overload.
Epic.
You can't see it in the lens of the camera, but this thing, actually it's more pinkish, and I probably shouldn't shine it directly at me. This thing is for growing plants, darn it. Oh, yes. It is going to be purple, of course. Purple. It is going to be purple, of course, because that's what plants work with for photosynthesis. So, woohoo! Now, let's make it smart. Instead of running it straight off the power strip, let's add it back on and get it to where I can put it in with the smart setup. Turn on the plant light.
Sure, turning on the plant light.
Now we're in business.
NASDAQ lists their after-hours trading price as $100.69 a share as of 4:54 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time last Friday, with no change from closing.
Stupid computers.
Epic.
I'll tell you what, son. When I first started all this, it was nothing but me and a bag of dirt. Bag of dirt indeed. This is, of course, Walmart's answer to potting soil, but also a sign that they're taking a few cues from Aldi. Barcode. Barcode. I think there's another on the side. Yeah, on the other side, too. Extra barcodes, huh? Fancy treatment for a bag of dirt. Well, it definitely looks like dirt. Smells like dirt. See a little fertilizer chunk thingies in it as well. It even has a little stick. Dirt inside the house. What are you doing tracking all that dirt inside the house? Sad, because we just got done with Mother's Day and stuff, and now we're doing something that folks would be like, folks' moms would be like, don't track all that dirt in the house. I just cleaned the floor. When you grow up, you can track dirt into your own house. Don't track it into mine. Well, I'm grown up and I'm tracking dirt into my own house. I'm actually bringing it in by the bag full. Right, let's put some dirt in the flower pot. Man, this stuff's dirty. Right, so,
Epic.
let's see how well this thing is at where you pour the water in here and it just sucks it up and stuff like that. So, can I totally avoid pouring water in, in the top and stuff? And how much moisture is in this stuff to begin with? Then we can plant a few seeds here and there. My ultimate, the thing I'm looking to do is I've got some leftover seeds from some seeds I tried planting in the backyard just to see how well it would do out in the wild. And I also have some lupines as well. So this one claims to be container friendly and only need partial shade and whatnot in order to... so we're going to follow the directions in the seed. We're going to plant something in here. And we'll just leave this, keep it watered, and see what pops up, if anything. If you don't see this again, then whoop-de-doo, I suck at growing plants. But with all these seeds, I have plenty of attempts to practice and stuff like that, and I also have some flower food in case the soil needs some more fertilization. Ultimately, though, if I can get something to grow inside this thing, then what I'd like to do is get it to the point where I can dig it out and take it outside and transplant it into the backyard, so I can have the equivalent of plants without spending all kinds of money per plant, instead of like $1 something for a bunch of seeds. So let's see if we can get something to germinate, because these are the leftovers from what's supposed to go out in the yard. I'm going to try salvia first, which might not be a good idea for an indoor plant with a grow lamp, but we just got to put old purple lights there on the timer so that it will turn on and off, do like 16 hours on, 8 hours off, or something like that. Let's plant something. The 9-to-5ers recently gave us water bottles. Spout, spout. I think I've found a use for it. Whoa, this setup does work. I filled this thing up to the line, and already it's really sopping it up. Cool. The technology in these darn dirt buckets. So let me get this straight. These tiny things can turn into flowers. Ah, the miracles of nature. Anyways, those aren't getting planted because I've already planted 2 seeds where they're supposed to go inside this thing. So here's where we turn this thing into my little purple nightlight and leave that firing down into this thing. I could always turn this thing off too. Could always put the bulb in here as well and just leave this running and leave this running as well. That might actually be a better idea. The big reason why I bought this is that I can still have a project light so I could still have a project light if I wanted to work on something while the flowers were growing. But I think actually switching the bulbs might be a better idea for this. Jay's purple grow dome. I swapped in one of the larger pieces from some of the other torch lights I've had over the years. These cheap Walmart torch lights break at next to nothing, and I saved the domes. Well, now I'm glad I did. I can just put this big dome on here and have a big purple grow dome directing all that light. I could always just go over this with something to reflect all of the light down into the pot and make it more interesting that way. But for now, I'm just going to go with this and see if anything sprouts. It may take a while for anything to sprout at all, because these things, according to the seed packet, can take 14 to 21 days just to germinate, and then they'll pop up and take quite some time to bloom. We might not even get these in time for summer if they come up at all. I might have to try and make them work as houseplants. So, yeah. But ultimately, if I can get these things to come up and look pretty decent, then we can take these out and transplant them into the garden, get some more soil, and start something else. And end up with some nice looking perennials in the yard, in the area where usually only tall grass grows. So, yeah. Jay, the green thumb dude. Yeah, I'm getting old. And now, we wait. And keep it watered, of course. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.